anyone unfamiliar with Zoom. You can say hello to us and tell us where you're from in the chat box, which some of you are doing. It's lovely to see you all from China, from Turkey. Very welcome. And if you have any questions, please put them into the Q&A box, which you'll also see. You might need to hover your cursor along the bottom of the screen there. And we'll try and answer a few of those at the end if we have time. But hopefully Wayne will cover a lot of content in this session. So first, quickly, a little poll for you. If you could just let us know which best describes how confident your teachers are when it comes to delivering remote teaching at the moment. They're all very lacking in confidence. Some are confident, some have no confidence. Most are confident, but a small group have no confidence, and all teachers are very confident. So just give us a bit of an idea about where you all are with your remote teaching practices at the moment, how long you've been in lockdown for. I know some of you have only just been in lockdown. So to say, Shanghai Experimental School have been just coming out of a lockdown at the end of April, after 8 or 9 weeks with the school shut, but I'm sure Wayne can tell you more about that shortly. Okay, let's have a look at those results. So most are confident, most of your teachers are confident, but a small group have no confidence. Well, hopefully we can all learn a lot from each other during this session today. That's really good to see. Thank you for that. So on to Wayne now. I'll just give you a bit of background for Wayne. Wayne is headmaster of Shanghai Experimental School International Division. Founded in 1987, SES has enjoyed a good social reputation both at home and abroad. Its international curriculum is offered to more than 600 students. SES has been an approved Oxford AQA centre and has taught Oxford AQA international GCSE subjects such as maths, sciences, English language and ESL to its grade 9 students since 2007. Now, Wayne has been headmaster at Shanghai Experimental School since 1998, pursuing a doctorate degree in comparative education at Shanghai Normal University. He's a visiting scholar of the University of Massachusetts in 2016. And he has an international quality supervisor for the Programme for International Student Assessment, PISA, in 2015 and 2018. And he's has International Quality Observer for Teaching and Learning International Survey in 2018. So he's very well rehearsed in all teaching and learning support. So Wayne, if I just hand over to you now, if you'd like to share your screen, and I'll hand over to you to present. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And dear school leaders, principals, teachers, and friends all around the world, I'm so happy to get the invitation from Oxford AQA to share our practicalities in almost 7 weeks on remote teaching. And many thanks for Oxford AQA to provide this kind of platform for us to exchange online education experiences and reflections. More and more schools in several countries have now been closed and started switching to online classes in response to the growing threat of coronavirus. I know this must be a stressful time for all of us, particularly for teachers and students who struggle in the front line of teaching and learning. So the topic of my speech is balance, pandemic, and learning. As we know, the world is changing. As an educator, in my opinion, my job is following the changing world to keep the balance between school philosophy and parents' requirements, between quality and efficiency, between students' academic achievement and mental health. And now, when coronavirus appeared, we had another job, is to keep a balance between pandemic and learning. So today, I will share these 3 contents with you. First one, under COVID-19 challenge and practice in Shanghai. I will introduce Shanghai status quo and overall design for remote teaching. Secondly, I will introduce what our school teachers do in these 7 weeks. Thirdly, I hope to share my reflections on the pandemic and thinking for the future. So the first part is challenges and practice in Shanghai. In these difficult times, Shanghai confronted an unprecedented challenge in the history of its education. This is reflected in 3 main aspects. Shanghai education met unprecedented situation. There are 3 million teachers and students were affected, and there are 62,000 classes were canceled. Everybody have to stay at home. All students cannot return to school on February 17th. This is the open day for new semester. But in these days, the government, they launched the notice for 8th grade students and 12th grade students. Now they can go back to school on April the 27th. So another aspect is in Shanghai, there are 16 districts, include urban area and suburban area. There is a huge disparity in IT resources and information literacy of teachers and students. And the third one, everything is not ready for remote teaching at the beginning of February. Network platforms and systems haven't experienced the test of too much concurrency, not to mention the lack of experience in handling large-scale concurrent distribution. So we seriously lack of resources online, and the 3 million teachers and students need to get the distribution of teaching and learning resources at the same time. That's the largest education concurrency. So I want to show some status quo before starting remote teaching in Shanghai. Only 6 districts out of 16 districts in Shanghai had preliminary contingency plans. There are wide gaps in broadband and lack of online resources. Lots of platforms couldn't accommodate the surge demand simultaneously. More than 7,000 students have neither TV, no mobile phones, computers, or pad. Yet the Shanghai Municipal Education Commission, they do the survey for all the schools. More than 7,000 students, they lack of the devices. And most students have none or very limited experience in online teaching. This is the status quo in Shanghai. So before the government considered the overall design of online education, need to point out what are the basic needs of remote teaching in Shanghai. There are 4 aspects. First one, full-time. Full-time means full-time students include primary, middle, high school, college, and university students. Full coverage means for students who lack of digital devices, government and schools need to lend devices to students to make sure all of them have access to online learning. So we can find at the beginning of February 6th, there are more than 7,000 students, they lack of the devices. And then on March 2nd, on that day, we started online teaching. Everyone, they have their devices. So the third one is all media. All media means 12 live TV channels, 8 online broadcast platforms, and 44 online interactive platforms are open and ready for online education. And the fourth part is free access, means free software platforms, free platform cloud resources, and free labor services. So Shanghai Municipal Education Commission, they chose teachers with excellent teaching skills to record instructional videos, formed unified curriculum and timetable for all schools of the same grade. We call that is Shanghai Air Classroom. That is launched on March the 2nd. On each lesson, there are 2 teachers. One is subject teacher who gives lectures online for all the students for nearly 30 minutes per lesson. And another one is the student's own school teacher who will be responsible for interacting with students for nearly 10 to 15 minutes after each online lesson. They will emphasize the key points of the lesson and answer any questions from the students. Remote teaching mainly through TV, together with other network distribution platforms. The Air Classroom can be accessed through computers, tablets, mobile phones, TVs, and other different terminals. Students' learning activities such as lectures, homework, and interactive communication also can be carried out through various terminals. So this is the Shanghai practice. And I want to introduce the practice and the experience in our school. Shanghai Experimental School is a very special school in Shanghai and in China. When the school was set up, it was to train young college students. So we shortened the length of schooling to 10 years, not 12 years, 10 years. After 10 years, all the students, they were graduated from our school and go to the universities. So we set up our own special curriculum for local students. For our school's international students, they face the same problem because the International Department of SES partly uses the special curriculum materials and partly uses the international textbooks. That means we cannot use the Air Classroom resources directly. So at the beginning of our school's remote teaching, we consider about what kind of the teaching platform to choose. We listed several demands of the platform. The first one is, we hope the platform is easy to access from mobile phone, pad, or PC. And we hope it's easy for kids to log in, especially for the low graders. We do not want to see our kids lost in the classroom when they should be. And also, we don't want to see the kids rushing and out of the online platforms. Teachers are considering about the discipline of the class. So they hope the platform is easy to control students' microphone. And considering about some students are abroad, the platform is convenient for recording the screen to reduce the time zone affection. Also, we hope the platform has adequate teaching functions, including screen sharing, annotation, auto-saved content, and discussion. So a very careful selection of remote teaching platforms through trial and errors conducted by school leader team and IT team. We tested many different apps. Consider both convenience and economy, also include the capacity of the classroom. At last, we selected Zoomoo, Tencent, and Zoom as the main teaching platforms. We also encouraged the teachers to choose assisting tools for different subjects. Here, I want to say thanks to Oxford AQA for their support by sharing online resources for teachers and offering free access to online student books so that students can continue their studies while schools are closed. I know to make that decision is not very easy, but Oxford AQA made it. In January, they decided to extend the entry deadline, and now they are busy for offering all students a calculated grade. We got the support from different platforms, different subjects at different grades. Our teachers use different assisting tools to keep efficiency of their remote teaching. Now, our teachers can use the online teaching platform very skillfully. The students can watch the live video and share teachers' courseware. They use raise hand function and the chat box to interact with teachers. And the teacher can assign students into different rooms for discussion. And here, the teachers, they can join each room to observe the students, their discussion. In addition to preparing the teaching platform, we also delivered the textbooks to students' home and helped teachers to upgrade home network broadband, make all necessary preparations for remote teaching. Preparation for remote teaching schedule is a little bit complex. We need to consider the student and the teacher's workload and eyesight. Need to consider about the balance between different subjects. We don't want teachers to feel that school value one subject and don't value another one. Here also is a very interesting phenomenon. When parents allow their children to play video games and watch TV, they don't worry about that. They don't worry about the children's eyesight. But the parents show great concern when we ask their children to have online learning. So we arranged 5 lessons a day for primary school. Length of each class is 30 minutes, and the length of break time is 30 minutes. For our junior and senior high school, length of each class is 45 minutes. Length of break time is 15 minutes. When we made the timetable, we also need to consider about the different time zone among our foreign teachers. Quite a few foreign teachers are still abroad, and we don't want them to get up in the middle of the night. There are several part-time teachers in our school, so we have to take care of their time and need to avoid conflicts for teachers who teach the different grades. We should also pay attention to the individual needs from our teachers. So that is a little bit complicated. And finally, we made this kind of schedule for each grade. Teachers have their own regular meeting room number, and the administrator of school can enter each meeting room to observe. We call that online class tour. In order to get the support from our parents, we prepared a parents' letter each week. We gave parents and students detailed instructions on what to do and what to prepare in these difficult circumstances. On March the 2nd, we held whole school's online opening ceremony. We say that sometimes life needs to have a sense of ritual, and I think learning is the same. In the new semester, everybody experience a new model, get a new start, accept new concept, meet new challenge. And I think for all of our teachers, we also obtain new professional development. In this information society, teachers are no longer stand on the shore to watch others swim as a spectator, but jump into the pool to learn swimming. We organized different types of training for teachers, including local and international staff. We asked teachers to share some tips and methods of online teaching. And we also feedback the information from the questionnaire to the teachers so that they can make an adjustment. We organize the different groups meeting to train our teachers. And our subject teachers designed the questionnaire and do the class survey for students. For example, teachers get to know how about the pace of the class, what kind of skills students want to improve, and what are the students learning preferences. We also got the feedback and ideas from parents to make our lessons more engaging. Our roles as teachers can be confusing at times, but when do we need to take a step back? And when do we need to take the lead? I think it needs to be based on data analysis. Here, I want to share several cases for different subjects remote teaching with you. The first one is math group in our primary school. Till now, math teachers prepared online teaching resources nearly 300 periods. They unified teaching progress, lesson plan, courseware, assignments, and tests in each grade. They construct teaching resources and utilize school cloud. We have the school cloud to share all these resources in the group. All the teaching progress and contents are examined by leading teacher. It is norm for class observation among teachers and administrators. All teachers in math group, they can learn from each other to improve together. Teachers also get a new skill to mark students' homework online. When students finish the homework, they can upload it online instantly. The platform will remind the teacher which student has submitted the homework through the mobile phone. And our math teachers can correct homework in time. This method can shorten the time for the teacher to give feedback to the students and improve the teaching efficiency. To extend the limits of learning online, our teachers enrich the forms of homework and the evaluation dimension. For math learning, first grade students try to provide the audio homework. Their mathematics language ability is practiced and developed. And the math teachers are using more targeted teaching tools to improve teaching efficiency. We also hope to use these tools to accurately analyze and judge the learning effect of our students. The young teachers in our English group also have many creative ideas. They use unexpected props like animation characters to attract students' attention, use microphone to encourage more interactions between teachers and the students, use scoreboard to activate online classroom atmosphere. They also use the Kahoot to generate contest questions for students to answer. And they use 问卷星, a tool has same functions with SurveyMonkey to collect the students' answer or conduct the examination on it. The English teachers asked the students to make a lot of interesting posters. And we plan to make an art exhibition for the students when we back to the school. These are the students' Chinese homework and examination papers. We sent the homework books to the students' home. And as for the test papers, the students can print them at home. The Chinese teacher corrects the students' work online and keeps the record of the homework. If there is an error, the students has to submit it again after correcting it, which means the teacher has to correct the same work twice. And online teaching can be a challenge for physical education classes. And usually there's a situation or phenomenon is where the teacher is sweating while the students are lying on the sofa. So our PE teacher recorded a lot of interesting videos leading students to exercise together and checking the effect of students' exercise through the camera. We also ask students to record sports videos and upload them. And Here, I will show the feedbacks of first online teaching. After first online teaching, we asked the teachers to write something down to give the teachers administrators. So I think that is very interesting. We can find the ESL class in 8A today is relatively smooth. All the students have attended class. It just occurred on problem when playing the recording. Students couldn't hear the sound, but this problem was soon solved after I get assistance from other teachers. So our teachers, they will help each other. And these are the feedbacks from our foreign teachers. Yeah, grade 7 have been showing academic maturity. They seem to be used to online format already, so the efficiency of the class is high enough. Yeah, so we can find all the teachers and students, they can use these digital tools very well. So I think we need to talk about the reflections and the opportunities. Among these practicalities in Shanghai, the whole city education system experienced a relatively high quality and balanced education. All students, no matter which school they are in, can enjoy excellent classes with excellent teachers from all over the city. And Shanghai will accumulate a whole set of online teaching resources. Now, Shanghai has prepared half a year teaching resources. As far as I know, Shanghai Municipal Education Commission plans to continue recording instructional videos for the second half of the year. And this is the field-wide practical training, not only for education, but also for IT and the other industries. Through this process, Shanghai improved online teaching platforms, and I believe these platforms will play a bigger role in the future. Last but not the least, after all these practicalities on remote teaching, we enhanced the teachers and the students' information literacy. They will be better prepared to face the challenges of the future. So there's a word is the world has given us a lemon. Let's make a lemonade out of it. So it's very interesting. Current epidemic was unexpected for all of us. Thus, it led to initial panics and difficulties. However, it also forced us to think about delivering teaching in a different way. It forced us to bring creative solutions to solve all the issues this epidemic has caused. And I believe we can continue to adapt these creative solutions, such as using online assessment tools, integrating online learning, and using online studying tools to our offline classes in the future to further enhance the quality of learning and teaching. This epidemic has increased the autonomy of our students and increased their independent studying skills. In the meantime, they learned to use more online studying tools to assist their learning. This sort of autonomy has forced our students to be more responsible for their own learning in the absence of teachers and the other school staff. As school leaders, we can encourage this sort of independent learning behavior after our students return to school and provide them with more autonomy to increase their self-studying skills and further teach them to be more responsible for their own learning. This epidemic has increased independent studying skills among our students, giving them an opportunity to decide what to learn, how to learn, and when to learn on their own. Although this sort of autonomy has led to decrease in the quality of learning initially, students slowly became more responsible for their learning progress and spent more effort in increasing their grades. This is also a wonderful opportunity to engage our students into different projects based learning, and that can further enhance their independent studying skills, I think, and increase their intrinsic motivation for ambitious learning. So I know, dear colleagues, now for these days, we are not very easy to conquer these difficulties. So I think we need to work together, and I hope everything can be better soon. And that's all. Thank you so much. This is I want to share with you today.
Thank you very much, Wayne. That was really insightful, and it's really interesting to see how your school has used different formats based on the different subjects' needs and the creative ways your teachers have overcome those challenges, using interactivity and engagement. I really personally enjoyed to see how the feedback between your teachers. I thought that was a really good idea, to let teachers know that they're not alone in it, and to share the kind of troubles or the successes both of them are having. One question I had, actually, well, if anyone has any questions, please do put them in the Q&A in the chat box and we can answer a couple of those. One thing I was going to say, Wayne, do you think your experience, or the experience of your school during lockdown and with online teaching, will change the way you teach in the future?
Yeah, sure. I think so. Yeah, because just as I said, now we prepared all these platforms and prepare the devices for the teachers and the students. And another important aspect is we enhance the students and the teachers their information literacy. So at this time, at first, for example, some older teachers, they are just worried about can have the lessons online. At first, they are very worried about that. And after several weeks, now I can say they are very skillful, and they are good at teaching online. So the school,
That's great to hear. Thank you for that answer, Wayne. That's really interesting to hear. Sorry, I don't know if that's my sound going or everyone else's sound is going. Oh, I think I'm back. Yeah, that's really good to hear how people who are perhaps not so confident with technology are coming around to online learning. So we've got a couple of questions here. If you could, a question about the periods of time, the length of time students spend in every online session. If you could repeat the bit about how long you plan your online lessons for?
Okay, yes. The online lesson session, yes. For primary school students, they will have 30 minutes online lesson, and they will have 30 minutes break time. Because they are very young, so we consider about their eyesight. And for the junior high and the senior high school, 45 minutes per lesson, and only 15 minutes break time.
Great, thanks for that. I hope that's cleared everything up for people. And we had a question here about students with special needs. Do you have much experience in your school with engaging and teaching students who have special needs?
Yeah, the special needs for what?
Special education needs. So anyone with particular special education needs in your school, or do you not have much experience with that in your school?
Okay, special educational needs. Yeah, because this school is, at first, as I said, this school is very special. Yeah, we just trained a very young college students, so we shortened the schooling in the only 10 years. So we can say this is a gifted student. We select the gifted students in our school. Yeah, and so we build the very special curriculum for our students, a little bit different with other schools. So we cannot use the air classroom in Shanghai.
Thank you for that, Wayne.
Yeah.
And we have a question here about how can you ask students to work independently on their projects without overwhelming them? So I think that's more broadly a question of how do you make sure that you're not asking students to do too much independent work in their spare time on top of the remote learning?
Okay, yes. So I think the remote teaching and the remote learning for the students, that is just the students need to have the very high autonomy, and they need to manage themselves very well. And because we can say in the classroom, some students also they cannot pay more attention on teachers' learning and on teachers' teaching. And now when they go back home, they just stay at home to have the lessons. So we cannot make sure everybody can focus on teachers' teaching. So I think, that is two aspects. One aspect is from the teachers need to try their best to attract the students' attention. And another aspect is we also give the students the check. After the lessons, we need to check the homework, and we ask them to upload the homework immediately. And for these, we will double check with the students their learning behavior.
Thank you, Wayne. We have a few questions here about student well-being and how to monitor. How do you cope with perhaps low achieving students and to monitor their well-being? Do you have any particular practices in place for that?
Oh yeah, the low achievement students. That is our teachers. They will keep in touch with their parents, and some teachers, as I know, they will, for example, after the whole day working, and maybe in the evening, the teachers will ask several the low achievement students enter the meeting room again, and just to help them, just as a tutor to help them to finish the homework. And another aspect is our teachers, they take care of the students, their mental health. The mental health, we do not want to give the students a lot of pressure. So we also have a very special time. We ask the teachers to interact with the students to keep more attention for their mental health.
Thank you. So that's essentially the more interactivity with the students, the better the results were. That's really interesting. We have a question here about synchronous and asynchronous teaching. So how successful was your school at implementing synchronous and asynchronous teaching? Were students expected to have presentations and ideas to share or other interactivities prepared so that the synchronous classes could run as planned?
Excuse me, the synchronous, sorry.
So were students expected to come to the lessons with interactivities prepared and presentations and ideas pre-prepared, or were your lessons run as normal in that aspect? Does that make sense? So were students expected to come pre-prepared with presentations to your lessons, or did your lessons run as normally as they normally would, face-to-face, just online?
So we will check the students' attendance. And as our teachers, they when they have the lessons, because in each lesson, in each class, only 30 to 40 students. So the teachers will check the attendance for the students at the beginning of the lessons.
So thank you. So they just ran as they normally would, just online, essentially. We have a few questions. Thank you. We have a few questions here about parents and involving the parents with the remote learning. And how do you improve the parents' awareness toward this new program, especially in supervising their kids at home with the arranged virtual classes schedule?
Some students, they need to go to work. So the kids just stay at home to learn, just as we said, they need to manage themselves. And some parents, they will accompany with the students. So I think some teachers tell me this is a challenge for them, because every every day, each lesson, that is an open day for our teachers. Yeah, you know, these parents, they just observe our teachers teaching. Yeah. So for these for the parents, we ask all the teachers to contact with the parents, and as a school, we will write the letter to the parents each week, just let the parents know what we do and what do they should prepare for the next week. And I think, yeah, we need to get the support from the parents. And some students, maybe they cannot finish the homework or very well, or cannot follow the teacher's instruction very well. So the teachers will talk with the parents independently.
Thank you, Wayne. So you didn't have many experiences of difficult parents, or you didn't experience it was difficult for parents to get on board with the new program.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. So we have a few questions here about how do you make sure that students don't cheat when you're setting them online assessments? Is this based on trust, or did you have a system of...
Yeah, this is the challenge for the schools to manage. Yeah, and yeah, I think we also need to use the digital tool to solve these issues. For example, some teachers, they will provide the test paper into the Wenjuanxin, or just like the monkey survey monkey. Yeah, they just upload these test papers inside it, and then ask the student to finish online. And sometimes our teachers will ask the students to use 2 devices. For example, they just finish the test paper on the laptop, and then they use another device to take the video, just to take a video of the whole screen. Yeah, for the teachers, they can monitor the students their behavior. Yeah. So to be honest, yeah, that will affect this the quality of the testing. But we also try our best to conquer these issues. Yeah.
Of course, we all have to pull together and do our best in these weird circumstances, don't we? Thank you for that. Just having a quick flick through. I think we'll leave it there, actually. Thank you, Wayne, for those brilliant insights, and thank you for answering those questions at the end. It's good to share what schools' experiences and what the main concerns were and how they overcome these, and to know that we're not alone in answering these questions. Thank you very much. I'm just going to put up a we've got a feedback link, which I will send round to everybody along with the recording after this presentation. But I'm just going to put the QR code up there for everyone to see if they would like to scan that QR code. We really appreciate your feedback, and there's an opportunity there for you to let us know what you would like to see in these webinars in future times as we go through this lockdown process. Thanks again, everyone, for your attention and for your brilliant questions, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.